Hello, everybody. This is Phil Snyder from Concealed Carry Clash, Utah. Today, I decided to do a live video presentation on something that's not usually the forum of our concealed carry classes, but it is a big complaint with our neighborhood watch communities about speeding. It's always been that way. So the question is, how do you stop speeders in your neighborhood doing something that is effective? This is something that I just saw put up in my neighborhood just this last couple of days. What I do find is the squeaky wheel will always get the grease. And so my number one advice is if you have speeders in your neighborhood, you have to be a pain in the royal butt and call your police non-emergency line and report your speeders in your area. They'll need the address, what direction of travel it is. See, here's one going 35 coming eastbound on this road here, 5620 south. So anyway, the squeaky wheel gets the grease and you need to call, do it a non-emergency line with the police in your area. And if you have children in the area, like a residential area that you're concerned of, that's even better to say to the dispatcher. If you honestly say that you've got kids in your neighborhood, you're concerned of them crossing the street and getting hit by a speeding vehicle, that is always something good to say. But what's really important that you do, and a lot of people overlook, is that when you call in, you need to request, number one, from the dispatcher, if they have a case number available, get that case number from them and the officer that it's assigned to, and ask the dispatcher to pass on to the officer taking the call that you would like to have a either phone call or in-person contact, your choice, and you would like a disposition from the officer as to whether he came out or not and patrolled the area, or what his action was going to be moving forward. That is very important. If you don't ask for a disposition in the case and you don't ask for contact from the officer, I know at least where I work, sometimes an officer would not even go to the area. The dispatch would just broadcast what we would call an attempt to locate if officers were driving in the area to look out for speeders. Well, that's really not really worth a whole lot. So just remember just to request contact through a disposition in the case, and you're going to get more attention that way. So the first step when police, like I used to work for a police department, and even going back to the police academy days and being hired, we were always taught to try to resolve and enforce the law at the lowest level of intrusion as possible. Good police departments will try to, when there's a speeding problem in the area, they will often try to gain voluntary compliance. That's a police department's goal if they're a good department. They want everybody to voluntarily comply with the law, and so they don't have to do anything. Now, this little device in front of us is called a speed trailer. And no, this does not stop speeders, as you can see, as we've been talking through the video. You've seen people speeding. But this is a first level, this is the first step with the police in addressing a speeding problem in the area. These speed trailers, they don't enforce the speed, but they are there as a deterrent to educate people what the speed limit is, and to try to gain that voluntary compliance. Typically, they will move these speed trailers around from location to location. The other advantage of using these is it saves on manpower from having an officer come out here and run radar and speed enforcement. So if you've requested speed enforcement in your area, and if you've made enough calls and you've been a big enough pain in the butt to the dispatcher and to the police department, there's a good chance that you're going to get either one of these brought out here, or you might get lucky and have the city council do something like installing something similar, speeding posts where these little red and blue lights flash. Sometimes they'll put speed bumps in. But these are all deterrents. These don't stop. So if these don't work in your area to slow people down, your next step would be, and I would call into the police department and I would reference the case number if you had one the first time and ask to speak with that officer if possible to handle the follow-up report. It's called a follow-up report. So this case number is really good for you to have. So if you can be lucky enough to have the officer call you back, you could report that there are additional problems and that you request that somebody actually come out and enforce the speed, either through unmarked cars or motorcycles or something like that. This is probably something they're going to do if you push it hard enough. They may not do it on the first or second or third try, but if they get enough calls, it'll happen. You just need to be persistent and stay on it. So even if the officers write tickets, after fair warning has been given, right? The officers, that's why they like to start out with these trailers, is because, it's an education thing to begin with. But, if they stop violators after having this trailer out here for a couple of weeks, and now they can tell these people they stop, hey, we gave you a warning for a couple of weeks. You're still speeding out here, so now there's tickets. So anyway, once they start issuing tickets, that is going to slow traffic down. It's not going to be a permanent solution. They're going to slow down for a little while until they stop seeing the cops out there, and that's fine. We'll take that as long as we can get it. So when you start to see an increase in speeders again, you just need to do the same thing and just keep calling in. This works really well when you've got a neighborhood watch program like I do, and we can alert everybody as the areas, and we can make several calls in there to get things done. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys. But this is really a good way to address speeders in the area, and I know it's a problem. And so good luck to you, and please comment if this was helpful or what your experience has been in this, okay? Thanks a lot.